Art with Mr. Posey. Nature art, lotus flower drawings.
For this project, we're going to look at how to draw a lotus flower. It's a simple pattern. If you pay close attention, it just takes a little time and a little patience.
To draw a lotus flower, I usually like to start with a square of paper, but a rectangle will work also. Since this is a more technical type of drawing, I'm going to start with pencil and make sure I have a nice eraser in case I make any mistakes. Now, to draw my lotus flower pattern, I'm going to start with a circle in the center. I'm going to try to get it as close to the middle of the paper as I can, with lots of room around it for all of my lotus petals. Tracing something in the center for your circle can help, so it's nice and even and balanced. To make my petals, I'm going to make bumps that come off of the edge of the circle. These bumps don't have to be the exact shape as my bump, but they all should look about the same as each other. Usually when I do this, I like to rotate my paper as I go so I can make sure each petal is coming out from the center in its own direction. I try to make them all as even and the same as possible, and I have my first layer of petals. For the next row, I'm going to put a petal between each petal. It fits right there. This row is behind the first row, and there's a little space between each petal. So that's how I would do my second row. On the third row, I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be between the two petals that I just drew. And that's the basic pattern for drawing a lotus flower. Each row has a new set of petals that fit right between the petals from the previous row. Right now, all of the petals I'm making are rounded petals. Those are the easiest ones to do. You could do your entire piece of art just with rounded petals if you want to, and it would look something like this. Also, you can stop at any point, but the bigger you make it, the more impressive it's going to look. I could do an actual lotus petal shape. It has a little point in the center like this. You might want to practice that shape a couple of times before you try it on your lotus flower, but it is okay to switch the type of petals you're using in the middle of your art making. I like to do entire lotus flowers with this type of petal also, and once you do it a few times, it won't be so difficult. I can also do an angled petal like that. That more reminds me of a leaf or the petal to a daisy. Now that I'm finished with the pencil drawing, I can do something in the circle in the center. I could make that circle just a solid color, or I could draw a little earth. You could also do a happy face, a little character, really any kind of picture that fits in that little circle in the center. At this point, I can add some color if I want to. Now looking at this, that's a lot of coloring and it's going to take a long time. But if you want a piece of art to look impressive, or to be something that's really successful, sometimes putting a lot of time in it is the way to go. I'm going to color each row of petals that I did with a different color. And as a reminder, I'm going around the edge first and then filling in the center. Now my video is going really fast, so that you don't have to sit and watch me color for too long. But just so you know, it took me about 25 minutes to color all of my petals. It took some real determination to keep going. So if you want to take a little break in the middle, or do part of it one day and finish it on the next day, do whatever you need to do to get it done. You can color this with markers, watercolor paint, colored pencils, crayons, whatever your favorite coloring tool is, you should use that one. I'm doing my petals on the outside green so that it looks like rows of leaves around the edge. At this point, all of my petals are colored, and I'll go and color whatever image I put in the center. I'm doing an earth, and I want to do it somewhat realistic, so I'm trying to remember which parts are desert, do those light brown, where some thick forests are, that will be dark green, and where some farmland is, that would be a lighter green. As you know, I like to do black outlines on my art. I feel like it adds a nice finishing touch to it, and it also locks each color into its own place. This is a stylistic choice you can make for yourself. Do you like the look of black outlines? Or do you like it better, more soft and natural? I now have my finished lotus flower. I'll sign the bottom, and I'll share it with Mr. Posey through email or the Google Drive. You can make your lotus as big as you want it to be, as colorful as you want it to be, and you can use any design in the center. And just like anything, the more you do it, the easier it will become.
I hope you enjoy making your lotus flower drawings. Come back later this week for more nature-related art lessons, and I'll talk to you very soon.